Let's talk about 5 commands that you can teach your English Springer Spaniel puppy, or really any dog, that are going to be incredibly helpful for you as an owner and especially helpful for you if you're a content creator. So these are some of the first 5 that I taught my English Springer Spaniels that I adopted earlier this year. The first, of course, is going to be sit. We want to make sure our dogs know how to sit and sit on command. This is going to be incredibly helpful for keeping their attention where it needs to be, making sure they're safe and in place, making sure they're listening to us as we're out in different environments. Sit is a really big one. Now, for me, I like to have hand gestures associated with those verbal cues. So when I teach sit, I go like this. I say sit, and I will have that dog sit. I am not a professional dog trainer, so I'm not going to go through the process of teaching you how to train your dog. Please look these people up, especially on social media. These people are incredible. I'm just breaking down what works really well for me, and you can be doing as well. And from a content creator perspective, these are really good for laying the foundation for doing epic photos and videos later on. So sit is going to be my first priority when I am teaching new dogs. Also come. Come is going to be a big one. We want to make sure the dogs are coming to us. That, of course, can start with that on the long leash and pulling them in. And then you want to make sure that they are able to come to you. Actually, recently heard a dog trainer say their name should be a come command as well. So as you are doing this, making sure they are coming when they hear their name called and coming when you are saying the word come is going to be helpful as well. You can also give hand signals. There's lots of things that you can be doing for that. You want to make sure you have one specific gesture and not different things every time. So pick one and stick with it and reinforce that as you go. Sit and come, very common ones. But now we're going to get into a little bit of a twist. This is one I do not see a lot of people do, but has been incredibly helpful. And every time I am doing tricks around other people where I'm showing off what my dogs can do, this is one that they're really into. Everybody comments on this one. So the next thing that I taught my dog, because it is so incredibly important to make sure that you are the focus of your dog's attention, is look at me. And so when my dogs are doing anything, I can say, look at me, and their little heads will whip around to face me. This can be when we're trying to do tricks, when they're distracted. It can be in a dangerous situation. My dogs understand, look at me. And look at me is physically turn your face to me and make eye contact. I will not let my dogs go. In the early training stages I did, but I will not let my dogs go unless they make eye contact with me. Sometimes my girls will turn their faces to me, but not make eye contact. They'll look at other places on my face. They'll look off to the side. They'll look at the food in my hands. They'll look at my hands to see if there's anything in my hands. If they don't make direct eye contact, you must make eye contact. This is not close enough. Eye contact. They're really, really good at look at me. And this has done really well for me for taking pictures, because I can say, look at me, and boom, they'll look at me. I can say in dangerous situations when we're out at the park and there's maybe some chaos going on over here with little children or with other dogs or with just people, I can say, look at me, and make sure that as we're walking, they are on me. They are not over here. And this is something that's going to grow as well. My dogs are still very young, so they're not as good as I want them to be, which is why we're still working at it, but they're very good at look at me. Look at me gets that attention on me and works almost every time for me. We're still working on it. We're still working on it in chaotic situations when things are going around us. But look at me, really, really, really helpful. And then I'm able to kind of train them to be looking at my camera or to be looking at specific places. If I'm going to be in the future teaching my dogs how to look at a product that a company has sent me or whatever, I can teach them variations of look at me, which also leads into things from there, I train them on touch, but that is a different conversation. That is like a second level trick that I taught them. So sit, come, look at me. I also, of course, teach them wait. That way they are not, jumping at things. Wait is a huge one for me, especially with Springers. They are very, very interested in all the things. So wait means you cannot touch that toy. Wait means you cannot eat the food in your bowl until I tell you. Wait was actually a really, really big one for me, especially when I was food training my dogs. My dogs are hand fed because I use it as training time and because one of them chokes a little bit on her food, so she has to go slowly. So I hand feed my dogs. I've done videos on this before. And I will use the opportunity to train my dogs while I'm hand feeding. And so wait means do not touch it. You cannot have that. Whatever it is, you do not get to touch it until I release you. And so the end of wait is release. So it's kind of a wait and release command. So they know both of those words, and they know if I say wait, they cannot touch whatever it is. They are not allowed to touch it. And that sometimes means look directly at me. Sometimes it means I'm going to stare at the thing on the floor in front of me. Sometimes it means I'm going to tippy tap my feet in not happiness, but it does mean they will not touch it. And then as they grow with this, they'll get better at being patient about waiting. But that release command is equally as important so that they know when they are allowed to do it, especially when it comes to things like food and toys. Wait. And again, hand signals, wait. Or I will cover the bowl. I actually have videos on how to do this, so you can check those out on how to make your dogs eat slower so that they're not choking themselves. And I'll say wait, and it's either wait or it's covering like the bowl of the toy and saying wait, but it's that flat open hand for me. And then release, I'll point to whatever it is, and they are then able to get the toy, the food, the treat, the whatever it happens to be. And then, of course, the fifth one is going to be lay down. Lay down is a very important one because if they're being chaotic, you need them to lay down. Or if you need a certain type of photo in the future, you can get them to lay down. This is also helpful as a precursor to things like a relaxing command where they're going to just kind of chill out next to you and they're not going to be stressful or anxious or trying to get up or do things. It is going to be kind of like a wait and stay and rest here command. And this is the precursor, the build up to that point. So those are 5 basic commands, very easy, simple commands that are good foundational commands for future tasks that are going to help with the content creation and just with the good manners of your dog as well. Like I said, I have led these things into things like touch. If you would like a conversation on how I taught my dog to touch my hand, wherever my hand happens to be before they can do things. And then I use that to teach them to touch different things around the house, which is really great for content as well. We can have a conversation about that. Go ahead and let me know down below. I am not a dog trainer, so I'm not really teaching you how to do these things. Please go look up these people. And if you have a trainer you would like to see on the channel, please let me know. I'd love to get them on as a guest. But I am giving you really good foundational ideas for how you can build up to do things in the future for your content creation, for your documentation of your dog's life, and just for the safety and well-being of your dog as well. We're dropping daily videos helping you navigate the world of being a dog parent. So drop your questions and comments down below, and we'll see you in those upcoming episodes.